Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Let's go, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Happy Monday, or maybe Tuesday if you're on the other side of the world. Welcome to the best technology and science live stream that is out there. Thank you guys for being here early. I love seeing a lot of familiar faces in the chat there. It's awesome. Guys, the MH370 videos have been taking off. We've been getting more and more attention. Things have been blowing up. I was on Redacted. Redacted podcast has taken off. It's got, I think, over 400,000 views in under 24 hours. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. We are going to review that on Wednesday, but we have a lot to go through today that I've been preparing for a lot. So it should be a really great stream that we're going to do here tonight. First off, I want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate all of you. It's amazing to see the growth of the channel and this information and knowledge that's being spread. And it's great to see it being shared as well, all throughout social media. I appreciate it a lot. I do want to say that it does feel like we are getting to a peak that's happened a couple times before in the past, but never when I've had as big of a following with all of you guys. We're at the highest peak I think we've ever been at. And I am getting a little worried that like the CIA or something, is the intelligence agencies are going to try another kind of debunk attempt. So that's part of the reason why, actually, all those are the reasons why I wanted to do this live stream and address some of the most prominent debunk attempts that are out there. Potentially, we can clip this if I do a good job here. I don't know how this is going to go. I've been trying to prepare, make sure I can do this really quickly. And then I may, if I can clip this, then I probably will post it on my YouTube channel so that people can share the us refuting some of the debunk attempts. The reason for this is I was looking around on Reddit, and I noticed some old, I haven't really looked in there in like a week. I noticed some posts that people are posting the videos. People are starting to realize these videos are actually real. There was a literal disinformation campaign to hide the MH370 videos. 100%. Literal disinformation campaign. And it's not just, it's coordinated. It's 100% coordinated too. And people are starting to notice it. And they're noticing that there's a lot of accounts that are dummy accounts, burner accounts that people are using, and their whole account history is dedicated to attacking me, trying to defame me, libel me, make up lies about me, make up lies about the videos. That is not normal. That is not normal. That does not exist for anything else out there. No fake videos. No, people don't do that for Sasquatch. They don't do that for Flat Earth. Like it's actually just wild. So I want to help you guys out and give you the evidence that you guys need to refute the claims that I see out there. I saw one in particular where like the debunk people are just literally lying. They're just lying on Reddit. And the best part is I know these people know they're lying because I've addressed these claims. I don't even know how many times over the last year. Dozens, every single podcast I do. And people keep bringing up the same lies over and over and over again. When you see that level of deception, that is not normal. That is not organic. That is a literal disinformation campaign being run because they also know it's an information war. I know it's an information war, and they know it's an information war as well. And they are quite literally trying to confuse people. They are trying to sow disinformation. I actually kind of enjoy it. It's fun. It's a fun little game to play with the intelligence communities that are trying to hide the videos. They're not very good, though. Honestly, we're better than the most powerful intelligence apparatus on the planet. And that's what I love about this, is that they're trying their best and they're losing. They're losing to a random guy that's a healthcare IT consultant and all of his followers that have been compelled by the science and the evidence that's out there. Imagine how bad the intelligence communities feel right now. There's probably some guy like, I've been doing 12-hour shifts for the last 6 months, posting on Reddit, trying to convince people to ignore the videos, and they won't ignore them. And they're calling me a retard. It's just great, guys. Okay. So let's see what else. Before we get into this, I want to take a minute to just kind of chill before we get into the hard stuff here. So what are we going to talk about today, guys? Agenda for today. First, I'm going to go through the debunks. Then to just balance things out, I'm on nobody's side. If you guys aren't familiar with me, I'm on no one's side in the UFO community, literally no one. My opinion is completely impartial. I hate the debunk. I don't really hate anybody, but I don't like the debunkers and the skeptics, and I don't like the alien true believers. I just call them woke disclosure. I have nothing wrong with believing in aliens. But when I say woke disclosure, what I mean is the people that are trying to convince the world that there's this alien technology out there. We can't understand it. It's beyond human understanding. It's breaking the laws of physics. That nonsense, that's such a garbage narrative. So I hate those people, or I dislike them strongly. And I dislike the debunkers the debunker side people are like, they have this moral superiority complex. One of the things that I learned during COVID was that everybody out there's a quote, I can't remember what it is, but like the most delicious whatever is to be able to like put somebody else down. This is the mental problem that the debunkers have, and it is a psychological issue. It's like a savior complex, is that they get off on the idea of being superior to others, and they feel the need that they have to correct everybody else. So somebody has wrong belief. Somebody is wrong on the internet, and I need to correct them. Like, if you guys haven't noticed, they have multiple accounts that are in community notes. Within 10 minutes of me making a post about anything related to MH370, they're putting a community note on it with fake debunk stuff and things like that. Like, that is mental illness. That's mental illness. If you're one of those people, you're probably watching this right now, that are one of these debunker people that is like just has some weird rumination about me, and you are doing that, you need to get your life in order. Because I'm not going to lie, I've been telling you the truth this whole time. You're going to find out that you're wrong. And when you're wrong, you're going to have a mental breakdown. You're quite literally going to have a mental breakdown. And I don't want to be responsible for people killing themselves. I really don't want to be responsible for that. So the best thing you can do is just walk away. If you're not interested in this content, if you want to go live your fake life somewhere else, the rest of your life in bliss, ignorant bliss, and pretend like, SpaceX rockets are as good as it gets and nobody's figured out anything better, then that's great. Go somewhere else. Go get a life. Go touch grass. Go do anything except for harassing me. The ultimate irony is that these mentally ill debunker people were making up fake stuff about how we were harassing the picture taker and things like that, and how Ashton harasses people. The ultimate irony is it's all projection. They've been nonstop harassing me, making up lies about me, doing like horrible memes, doxing me, making up, I think their little PDF things up to 180 pages of fake information. And this has been going on for almost a year and a half straight. The debunker people, the Redditors, are the thing that they hate. They are the scammers and the fraudsters and the harassers and the doxers. They are all of that. I'm just responding to them in kind. What I'm trying to show them is I'm trying to hold up a mirror to them and go, you are the baddies. Do you not get it? Does your head not work right? Your brain not work right? So before I destroy all of the debunks again, I just want to tell them, go away. Go away and start preparing for the reality in which you realize that your entire life has been a lie, that everything everybody's told you has been a lie. This entire world is a ruse. And if you don't want to live in that world, if you don't want to deal with that reality, then go do something else. Go occupy yourself with anything else. To the people that are the true believers of the Lue Elizondos and the Gary Nolans and the Ross Coulharts and the Jeremy Corbells and the George Knapps, that think that, oh, these people have put in so much work. You owe it to you. You have not done anything for the UFO community. I would say all of your heroes are frauds. All of your heroes are frauds. They've done nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. They've never revealed any verifiable information, not once ever. Nothing. And if you can't realize that, and that you've been getting dragged along since the 90s for 30 years with promises of just wait till next year. Next year, the aliens are going to come down and it'll be obvious for everyone. Then you need to wake the hell up. It's honestly two sides of the same coin. The debunkers on one side and the true believers on the other, and neither of them have any idea what's going on. It's honestly embarrassing. None of them have any interest in science. I don't know why. It's amazing to me. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, who brought Bob Lazar onto the scene, for example. What happened from that? Technically, you could say he brought Area 51 onto the map, which is great, but Bob Lazar did that. That was Bob Lazar's doing. There's no credit owed to Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They didn't do anything. Bob Lazar did all that work. So it's just kind of ridiculous that these people watch these shows by like James Fox, these documentaries, and they reveal nothing. Give me my $20 and I'm going to give you more sensationalism. Yes, I know secrets and I can't tell you. I've heard that shit for 30 years. No, thank you. I don't need any more of that. We don't need Lue Elizondo at all. The people that are going to give us disclosure are never going to be government agents or anybody associated with the government. That is never how disclosure is going to happen because there is too much liability at stake. That's what we've learned from the MH370 videos. Way too much liability at stake. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and take down Lu Elizondo, because somebody in the replies yesterday said, if you have the evidence, go ahead and do it. Okay, I'm going to. Okay. Whew. Let's get started, chat. Okay, here we go. So let's pull this up. Boy, guys, I have a lot of windows open here. It's going to be interesting to see how fast I can do this, or how efficiently, I guess, would be the way to do it. So first, I'm going to show you this list so you guys have something to compare to, and then I have it. I'm just going to pull it up on my side here as well so I can kind of reference it. So I'm going to show you the list. There we go. So this right here is the list that I saw on Reddit. I'm going to read through it so you guys have a quick glance, and then I'm going to start to debunk every single piece quite easily. The video is made of known stock image assets. The video lacks parallax movement, which would happen if filmed from a fast-moving satellite. The clouds are literally a still image, and the matching source image has been found. The warp effect has also been matched to a stock asset. The videos show daytime while the plane disappeared at night. Contrails would not show up on thermal imaging. The plane continued to ping satellites after it supposedly warped out of existence. The contrails are a pattern of 2D sprites which include each other in a way real contrails would not. Pieces confirmed to MH370 have washed up in Africa, basically. Any single one of these pieces of evidence above is enough to entirely dismiss the videos. It is not. That's factual statement. It's not enough to dismiss the videos. And I'm going to destroy every single claim on this list. So the person who posted this is an idiot, and they're either lying or they're not familiar with my work. One or the other. Doesn't really matter at this point. Let me hit these up real quick as well before we get going. You need to watch James Fox's new documentary of the program. No, I'm not going to watch that. 0% chance I'm paying James Fox any money ever. James Fox is a complete ass clown. His documentaries are not worth the money. No chance. There's zero information revealed in there. Zero. I have better videos of Hal Puthoff than anything that he said in there. Hal Puthoff, I already know what he said anyway. He said, "Oh, I would go to jail if I revealed any information." Yeah, I already knew that. I already knew all that. That's not new to me, chat. So glad I saw these videos. Yeah, thank you, William Bill, and thank you, John, for those donations. Okay. Where's my list? Here we go. Okay, first one doesn't require anything. They say that the video is made of known stock effects. That is an incorrect statement. There are no stock effects or VFX anywhere in the MH370 videos in either of them. There are two videos that are two real leaked military videos from two completely different angles in perfect synchronization without a single discrepancy on any frame. Anyone claiming anything other than that is a liar. The videos lacks parallax movement, which would happen if filmed from a fast-moving satellite. Actually, both videos do have parallax. This is, again, factual claim. Factual claim, both videos show parallax. Where did I put it? Oh, here we are. Sorry. Okay, I made a little thing for it. So this is the short video that shows it. I'm going to go put it in a full screen mode here for you guys. So right there, you can see the parallax, no doubt. Parallax means you're shifting perspective. So when you see the clouds shift like this, we can actually see different parts of the clouds. Now, with respect to the idea of the moving satellite claim, that's also false. We're not looking through moving satellites. We just did a live stream the other day. That's not how satellites work. So the person that claimed that, just like the Corridor crew, they do not understand low Earth orbit satellites. Low Earth orbit satellites, as we watched in the video, and you can see it on my channel, is that we are beaming information from the satellites, low Earth orbit satellites, to relay satellites, such as NROL-22, and that is being beamed to ground-based computers, and they're creating a computer-generated image, CGI. In fact, it is CGI, the MH370 video, but it is not fake. Nobody created it. A computer created it from military assets that are integrated together, which includes drones, high-altitude airplanes, and satellites, all fusing the information together for a ground-based system. This is the reason why we are not seeing movement of a satellite. It's whammy footage, wide aerial surveillance footage. They actually have the capability to look around all through it. Give me a second. See, I thought I had a link somewhere. Okay, yeah, here we go. Oh, yeah, sorry. Here it is. Too many windows open. Okay, so right here, here's your answer. Let's go with this one. So you can see it says right here that we have high scene coverage, high resolution, and low frame rate. Because it's mapping and pulling all these assets together, this is the reason why the frame rate is low. The frame rate of the satellite video is 6 frames per second. We are looking at a computer-generated image. This is the reason why it's 6 frames per second. So the first two claims have been 100% debunked, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add even more in there. I'm going to go ahead and show you that we actually have parallax in the drone video as well. 100% proven, not disputable. None of these claims are disputable. They're 100% factual claims that I'm making right now. Here it is. Here's the parallax. So when it zooms in, again, you're seeing the cloud kind of shift like this. That's parallax, because you're seeing different sides of the clouds. That's not a 2D static background that you're seeing right here. This is 100% proof of parallax in the video. These are 3-dimensional real clouds. There's no images in these videos. Next one. The clouds are literally a still image. That is incorrect. Just as I showed you a second ago, the clouds are not a still image. You can see when you do any forensic analysis on the videos, you can see that the clouds actually don't just move, they are evolving naturally. This is not possible with a 2D static image. This 100%, no doubt, no question, rules out 2D static clouds. See it for yourself right there. There are actually more examples. I'm not going to show them now, but I have more examples as well of the clouds moving. There's no question, 100% the clouds are moving. So now we can say with certainty that the person that was making those claims was wrong or lying. Now there's more related to that. We also have three-dimensional lighting. Sorry, I have so many windows open. Here it is. Jesus. I knew this would be a pain in the butt. Here we go. I'm just going to go like this. Okay, here you go. Three-dimensional lighting, everybody. So what you're looking at here is that you can see that this zap in the MH370 satellite video it's not just an effect. This is accurately illuminating the entire scene in 3 dimensions. This requires point source lighting and a 3-dimensional environment to pull this off. I remember seeing debunkers try to claim that they were just using a random glow effect. Nope, does not work. So again, this is additional proof that we are not looking at 2D static cloud images. Don't worry, I have more because I want to make sure this gets completely put to bed. The clouds also synchronize up between both videos. Here you go. So I'm gonna show this to you in case you miss it. Right there, you can see on the bottom screen here, you can see the cloud in the background. We can triangulate the position of the drone just off the screen in the satellite video to the north, and you can tell that this cloud here is the cloud in the bottom right of the screen. Now, as it goes forward, you can see the second cloud. The second cloud is the one right behind the plane right here. To the right of the plane in the top video is the cloud that we're seeing in the bottom. I'll show it one more time. First cloud right there. Second cloud right there. Let me do it slower again. First cloud, second cloud. So we now have confirmation that the clouds in both videos match. Once again, this necessitates a fully 3D rendered environment. 2 more things I want to point out about the cloud images. The cloud images in question do not reverse image search back to the website where they were supposedly found. They reverse image search back to Reddit. For both the cloud images and the Shockwave VFX, which I'm about to show you, they were both found by brand new Reddit accounts. The one that found the Shockwave asset should not even been allowed to post due to how new the account was. The moderators of the UFO subreddit gave it special permission to post, which shows nefarious intent used to try to falsely debunk the videos. With respect to the cloud images as well, if it wasn't enough that we have absolute proof that it's impossible for there to be cloud images in the videos, we also have proof that the cloud images did not exist on the internet at the time in which, oh, wait, that's not the right one. This one? Yeah, okay. They did not exist on the internet at the time in which the videos were published. Here you go. I'm going to show you that right now. Well, that didn't work. There we go. I like this view. Okay. So actually somebody helped me out with this. So first thing, here are the cloud images in question, which match the MH370 satellite video. As you can see from this Wayback Machine archive, the first time they were captured on the archive is 2016. The videos were published in 2014. So because this date is after 2014, these images cannot have been inserted into the videos. They must come from a different source. Somebody went ahead and did me a favor as well for absolute proof. This right here is the Wayback Machine in 2013, and none of these cloud images are the ones in question. None of them are these images. These images and cloud images do not exist anywhere on the Internet Archive predating the videos, period. Okay, I think that's good for that. So once again, anyone trying to claim that there are cloud images in the MH370 satellite videos is A, wrong. It's not possible. It requires 3D rendered environment. And 2, the cloud images in question do not predate the videos. And if somebody needed to, if neither Jonas DeRoe, the person who claims to have taken the cloud pictures, although now he's gone, he's deleted his video, he's gone in the dark. If he or the website owner are not the hoaxers, then somebody would have had to find those images on the internet somewhere. There's no evidence they were on the internet before the videos. What was the other thing I was going to say? I can't remember. Okay. I think that's good, though. So that would mean that somebody planted those images on the internet, potentially using the actual whammy footage, the military wide area footage. They planted them onto an existing set of images. So when people try to claim that, oh, they just missed those images, we can counter and say, no, they didn't. We have absolute proof that the images were being crawled. We have absolute proof the images were being crawled. We can see it right here. This proves it. So when they try to claim, oh, they didn't get on the Internet Archive, yes, the Internet Archive crawled the website 100%. We know it crawled the website before 2014. So those images were not there. That's a statement of fact. There is no evidence to claim these images were online. The last thing is, just to add further insult to injury, we went ahead and checked all of the torrents that we could find. Every torrent of the CG Textures website that predates 2014, even ones that were post-dated 2014, none of them had the cloud images in them. None of them did. So there is nowhere where a hoaxer could have found the cloud images. They simply do not exist online. This 100% refutes the cloud image debunk. There is no counter argument. The debunk is dead. And I haven't even got into the forensic analysis of the cloud images, and I'm not going to because I don't need to. They're already gone. There's no possible way they can be in the videos. The VFX claim. The VFX was found by a one-day-old Reddit account, as I just told you, and it is not a match. So this is the big one that the Corridor crew were trying to push. First thing I'm going to show you is an overlay comparison of the actual video, the actual MH370 video compared to the asset they claim was used. This alone proves that it's not used. This does not match. This does not match on any frame whatsoever. So if anybody tries to claim that it was proven to be a perfect match, that is an absolute lie. This right here is the only frame that is even remotely close. And you can see right here in the middle, it does not match. There is no way to get this to match. There is no way you can get this to match. Just look at the middle, look at the background of the middle, and then look at the asset in the middle. There is no, this is not a match, factual claim, not an opinion. It cannot match. There's no way to get this to match without moving pixels around individually. None of the rest of these frames are even close. On top of that, the asset has 7 frames in it, but the video only has 4. The number of frames, just basic analysis, like just the straight up most basic analysis, doesn't even match. Like if you're just going, okay, how many frames are in the asset? 7. How many frames are in the zap in the drone video? 4. You already have a major problem there. The number of frames doesn't even match. Now I've got more for you guys. Just because I'm again, I want to put this to bed so we never have to deal with this again. Here is an exact overlay where you can clearly see they don't match. Even on the edge, they don't match. What a lot of the debunkers did was they overlaid the two on top of each other so you can't tell what the differences are. But when you look at it like this, you can see the differences pretty clearly. You can see the middle is not even remotely the same. And on the edge, you can see it actually doesn't really line up. It's just somewhat similar. Now, all of these types of effects are similar.
Set-off blast waves are common.
We found multiple different explosion effects, shock waves, etc., that all match better than the VFX in question. Here you go. So we can make the same argument that these were used. This actually matches better than the shockwave VFX here. Because once again, the argument that's really being made is that one edge has a partial match. This proves to claim that something is similar. What a lot of them have said is that it's like a fingerprint. There's no way it can be different because it's like a fingerprint. They're all unique. This shows they are not unique 100%. Here's a second one. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. You can see that you could claim that this matches as well. And then here's the third one. There you go. So these types of effects are not unique whatsoever. What happened was, actually, let's get to that in a second. So I think I have one more thing I want to show related to this. Nobody has the receipts like me either, guys. I also want to point out that before that was found, people claimed that it was an ink blot effect that you're looking at right here. Debunkers claimed 100% it must be an ink block effect. Here you go. You're looking at it. They claimed that this was an ink block effect. And then after the ink block effect thing was refuted, then they decided to change their tune and go with the Shockwave VFX. This also right here proves that these are not unique patterns. This proves these are not unique patterns. So for the people that are out there that thought that the VFX was a match, they were all 100% wrong. They were 100% wrong. They're liars, whatever they are. I don't really know. You can take it up with them. Now, I'm going to even show you further evidence. I'm going to prove to you that this was manipulated, that this VFX was planted on the internet with the sole intention of falsely trying to debunk the videos. I think we got that. Oh, I had these all ready to go and I skipped them. Okay, here's another one I want to show you right here. This was a comment from a Redditor that said, even in the corridors debunking video, you can just trace the outlines and you can clearly see they don't match. Here's a quick version I did, but you can see it much more clearly in the video. So the other thing that the debunkers do is that they draw this really thick line and they pretend like the edge matches when it actually, the edge doesn't even match. So even the edge that they claim is a perfect match doesn't actually really match. And then here you can say there's no way to stretch either asset to get them to line up. The other claim that they made is that they said that you can stretch the asset and get it to line up. You cannot. There's no way to stretch it to get it to line up. The dips and the curves are in fundamentally different spots. I believe this person also said, or it was somebody else, I don't have it here right now, they claimed that if you put it into CAD, which is the software manipulation tool, you can clearly see that they don't match. So anybody who is trying to claim that this asset match is a liar. Anybody that didn't do forensic analysis and just put it into a software tool and see that it doesn't match, if they didn't do that, then they're frauds and you should not be listening to their opinion. The corridor crew specifically are 100% frauds and fake VFX artists. They did no forensic analysis whatsoever, and this proves it. So does the cloud moving as well, by the way. Both of those things prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that the corridor crew lied in their debunk video. Next thing is that they claimed that it was daytime in the videos. Okay, it's not. It's nighttime. This was another thing that was stolen from the corridor crew. They made another lie. Their entire video is filled with lie after lie after lie. What we're looking at is nighttime footage in the MH370 video. It's relatively easy to prove as well. So let's just go ahead and prove that. There is no directional lighting in this video. There is no directional lighting in this video. Also, we know the plane is flying to the east based on the coordinates. And if this was sunset, then the directional lighting should be coming from the west. In Jonas DeRoe's pictures, he claims that he was landing near sunset in Japan. 4:30 p.m. in the wintertime is sunset in Japan. So that would mean that there should be directional lighting coming from the west, coming from the left side of the screen. You can clearly see there is no directional lighting anywhere in this video. Now, on top of that, since that's probably not enough for people, I've got more. So here you go. Right here, EOIR collection conditions for whammy footage. Whammy footage has day and night capabilities. So this whammy footage is not limited to just daytime. Actually, this might not be the best source for it, but yes. Whammy footage, like the satellite video is 100% military footage. Whammy footage works at nighttime just like daytime. The reason why they're filming in thermal, potentially in the other video, is also that it is nighttime. So there's no inconsistency between nighttime and daytime with respect to the videos and when the plane disappeared. Now, one of the biggest lies that has been made repeatedly, and they know that this is a fake one, is that there are contrails coming out of the back of the plane. So first thing I want to show you here is that you can see the smoke coming out of the back of the plane. The clouds you see in the background are cumulus clouds. Cumulus clouds only form between 1,000 and 5,000 feet. This means this plane is flying extremely low, well under 10,000 feet. You can see the smoke once again right here coming off the back of the plane. I can prove that it's smoke right here. Once you go to this part right here, you can see the smoke directly coming from the belly of the plane. Where is it? Right here. You can see the smoke clearly coming from the belly of the plane in these frames right here. In the middle, there's the smoke coming from the plane, the hot smoke, and you can see that it does not align with the engine. So what's happening is the smoke's wrapping around the plane, and then on the right side, right here, you can see the smoke coming off the edge of the hull of the plane on both sides of the plane. That smoke is not aligned with the engines, and it's not contrails. In fact, it's physically impossible for it to be contrails because contrails form only above 18,000 feet on the best conditions. Usually, they only form even higher than that, roughly around 25,000 feet. But don't take my word for it. Listen to Mick West, the #1 debunker. Oops. Oh, yeah, here's more evidence, by the way, that the edges do not match. More evidence the edges don't actually match, and there's no way to get them to match. Where's the one? Right here. Says, not necessarily most of the time, but it depends on temperature, other conditions. I see contrails at 25,000 feet. That's Mick West right there saying that contrails form at high altitude, roughly at 25,000 feet. So Mick West knows that these cannot be contrails in the MH370 videos. Also, two more claims. The smoke stacks up accurately in the beginning of this video. They try to claim that contrails would not stack up. What you see right, so you can see the smoke right here. You can see the smoke stacking up on the right side of the screen where it gets a little bit brighter over here, right there. Yes, that's actually accurate to how smoke operates. Smoke does stack up like that. Contrails might not, but the good news is we're not looking at contrails in these videos, and the debunkers know that to be a fact. Now I'm going to play this other video because some people, the corridor crew, tried to claim that that the cameras cannot see through smoke. They tried to say, or they tried to claim that the cameras can't see smoke. Well, it doesn't matter. Either way they want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and prove it to you right here that the cameras have a control option on them, these military cameras, where you can either see smoke or not see smoke, depending on if you want to. There you go, right there. There's smoke right there. There's the camera seeing the smoke. No problem. There's smoke. You can see it. And then they can flip it on. And then they can see right through the smoke as well. So one more time. There's the smoke. Then they flip the option, and now you can see through the smoke as well. So the idea that the cameras, these thermal or IR cameras don't see smoke is just because those people don't understand EO IR cameras. And then right here, just to add insult to injury, this also proves that with smoke or any type of dust particles, you do see the correct occlusion. Right here, you can see the smoke or the dust particles coming up. You can actually see the occlusion right here on this little cloud thing here. See how it's blacker right there? So I'm going to let this play for a second so you guys can see. So you can see the occlusion of the dust particles right here as well, which proves that those people were lying to us. They were lying. That is exactly what we would expect it to look like, and that's exactly what we see in the drone video right here as well, right at the beginning when the drone flies underneath the smoke trails. Here you go, just like that. You see it, the occlusion in the bottom right there, stacking up. See that right there? Just like we saw just a second ago in the other video. Now, I want to also point out one more thing, that the debunks were all fabricated and planted onto the internet. So right here, this is the Pyromania VFX. We snapped this way back in August of 2023 is when this screenshot was taken. Right here at the top, you can see that they updated this archive. This is the archive of the Shockwave VFX. It was updated on January 25th, 2023. This was 7 months before the videos reemerged. You can see the first upload date of these assets down here is 2017. What this means is this asset was not on the internet when the videos were published in 2014. Why is this important? Because once again, somebody would have had to have access to this asset in order to include it in the video that they were hoaxing. Problem is, this asset in question was only available on CD-ROM. This person uploaded the CD-ROM Shockwave asset to this archive here. And we know they did so with malicious intent. Why? Because these videos actually got put on Reddit in January. I think it was January 14th, 2023. Nobody paid attention to them until August. And what did they do? What was that January update? They added in the real MH370 Zap. What you're looking at here circled in green, this is the real MH370 Zap. You can tell that they intentionally planted the comparison on the internet. This is not the original version of this collage. This collage that you're looking at here does not contain this comparison. So whoever uploaded this added a falsified comparison to the collage because they wanted people to think that this asset was in the videos. This proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that this debunk was planted on the internet with the intention of being used in the future to debunk the MH370 videos if they ever got too popular. The person that uploaded this refuses to come forward as well, which shows that it's probably an intelligence asset or a debunker that's out there, and they know they did this with malicious intent. By the way, we caught them in real time. When we noticed this, I did a live stream about it. You can find the old live stream. And the next day, they removed this comparison down here. If you go look, this comparison is not part of this collage anymore. If you go to the Wayback Machine where this came from, they removed it because we caught them and they knew we caught them. And the next day, I went back and checked it again, and the person had logged in and changed it, meaning the Wave Rider 3000 who uploaded this Pyromania VFX is watching everything that I'm doing. Let me repeat that. The person that uploaded that comparison and that Pyromania asset onto that archive is watching me. They're watching what I'm doing because the day that I called them out for that comparison, they changed it immediately. And then I went back and that comparison no longer exists in there. Caught them red-handed in 4K planting fake debunks on the internet. Also, one more thing I want to point out, because let's just make sure there's no way that anybody can continue to refute there's VFX. I went ahead and took every frame from the Shockwave, which you see here at the top, and I put side by side the frames from the MH370 video. 4 frames in the MH370 video, 7 frames in the Shockwave. You can clearly see these do not match. You can clearly see these do not match. So there you go. Just to add insult to injury, guys. And here's Mick West, the same debunker that's been lying about the contrails repeatedly. Here's him admitting that he gets paid to write for Skeptical Inquirer, and he wrote a fake debunk article in Skeptical Inquirer, which often gets put in the community notes on my posts. Mick West, if he's not an intelligence asset, then he's a straight up non-player character, a robot, basically. I don't know or care which one it is, but Either way, Mick West has no credibility whatsoever. I hope he doesn't hurt himself when he finds out that he's been an enemy of humanity for his whole life. But that's up to him to make those decisions. Okay, I think we're almost to the last one. The satellite pings. The satellite pings and the debris. Let's pull this back up. Okay, so here are the locations of the confirmed debris. The yellow line here in the bottom right is the location where the satellite pings claim the plane went down. Problem right away. The currents, as you can see here, flow to the east around Australia. Here's the drift analysis that was done before any of the debris was found. So this is an unbiased drift analysis. You can see very clearly that the drift analysis shows all the debris, the vast majority of the bulk of the debris, would have washed ashore in Australia, on the western coast of Australia. You can see it with your eyes right in front of you right here. You can also see the time frame down here. I'll give you a spoiler. The red one says 18 to 24 months. Almost all of the debris was found within 16 months. So the furthest the debris could have drifted in 16 months is the pink area here, this pink area you're seeing. The debris could not even have gotten to the Reunion Islands, which is the closest location. Let me repeat that. The debris could not even gone to the Reunion Islands, which is the closest location. Now, look at the other pieces. One was found in Tanzania. A piece was found in South Africa. These pieces, no question, 100% physically impossible to have drifted from the satellite ping locations. But what is a better location where the debris could have gotten to the ocean? Diego Garcia. Look at the drift analysis, or look at the ocean currents related to Diego Garcia. All of the debris could easily have gotten to those locations in 16 months from Diego Garcia. It could not have gotten there from this search area where the 7th ping was at. What that information means is that there are two mutually exclusive options. Either the debris found in Africa is from MH370, or the plane crashed in the South Indian Ocean, where the satellite pings indicate the plane went down. Both cannot be true at the same time. They contraindicate one another. So you have to decide, as an informed person that has now seen the evidence, do you believe the debris is from MH370 and the plane did not crash, or did not crash in the South Indian Ocean? Or do you believe that the plane crashed in the South Indian Ocean and the debris is not from MH370? Only one of the two can be true at the same time. Furthermore, the amount of debris that was found does not prove the plane crashed. There is not enough debris to have proved the plane crashed. This is an extremely important point, and the follow-up is there is no such thing as a plane crashing into the ocean without leaving a debris field. If the plane crashed into the ocean, it would have left a debris field, and the debris field would have been visible from outer space. Let me repeat that. If the plane crashed anywhere on the planet, especially the ocean, the debris field would have been visible from outer space for days at a minimum. And we have enough satellites that no matter what, we 100% would have pinpointed the exact location of the crash within 24 hours. Low Earth orbit satellites rotate around the planet every 90 minutes, meaning within 24 hours, they've rotated around the entire planet. There is nowhere on the planet a debris field could be hidden. There are no blind spots anywhere on the planet that we would not have caught it within 24 hours. In my opinion, this proves beyond any shadow of a doubt the plane did not crash. Whatever you think, the plane did not crash. The debris being found does not indicate the plane crashed. Let me just make sure. I think that's it. Okay, guys. Boom. All debunks 100% destroyed. No question, no doubt. The factual evidence speaks for itself. All of the debunk attempts were fake, falsified, or simply incorrect. The Corridor Crew's debunk attempt was a lazy attempt filled with lie after lie after lie after lie, or just ignorance. They don't know how our satellite systems work. They don't understand VFX. The asset 100% does not match. And it's also nighttime in the videos as well. Satellites, our spy surveillance system, easily sees in the nighttime as well. Okay. Woo! Boy, that was long, chat. I didn't realize it was going to take that long. Yeah, that's just a straight up fatality, guys. So if you want to understand why I've been so popular, well, this is why. Because people understand, they like when somebody understands logic and reason. A lot of the debunkers, the people like the Corridor Crew, they don't understand logic and reason. Also, the Corridor Crew did no forensic analysis. It's plainly obvious. They also claimed that the clouds weren't moving. If the Corridor Crew did any forensic analysis whatsoever, they would have seen that the clouds were moving. And they wouldn't have made such a stupid claim. I think that's the most damning one, is the fact that they lied and claimed that the background was static and the clouds weren't moving. And actually, if you go look at my Twitter from a few days ago, I took a video of the clouds outside my place, and the clouds don't move. And I took a longer video than each sequence in the satellite video. And it was funny because somebody replied and said, oh, I froze it and I sped it up and you can see the parallax. You can see it shift a little bit. I said, yes, that's exactly what we did in the satellite video and proved the same thing, which proved our point. The Corridor Crew are fraudsters. They are scammers. They are grifters. They are not VFX artists. I can prove in a court of law, they did no forensic analysis. I would easily win. Easily. They objectively lied in their video to millions and millions of viewers. And the fact that they constantly get put into my replies is why that they need to delete their video and they need to issue an apology and they need to say that they're frauds. They need to apologize to me personally. They need to apologize to the families of MH370. They need to say we are frauds and fake VFX artists. We did no forensic analysis on the videos. What we do is just for entertainment purposes only. That's what the Corridor Crew are. They're entertainment. They're entertainment for idiots. The Corridor Crew is entertainment for morons, dipshits, people that can't think for themselves, and little children. That's who the Corridor Crew appeals to. Okay. Now that we've torn those douchebags apart, let's move on to the next douchebags. What do you guys say? Let me get to my list. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, it's funny. I just noticed there's a few more things, but I naturally ping them. Okay, so let's get started. Actually, let me hit up these super chats, guys. I have been neglecting my fan here. Thank you, BGA Wild. Ordered 4 shirts today. Hope you get a cut. Oh, okay, yeah, I do need to mention that. I actually am getting a cut, it turns out. I didn't think I was getting a cut, but they hit me up today, and they said that you guys bought a bunch of shirts, and they want to give me a cut, and I said, hell yeah, I'll take a cut. So you want to call me a grifter for selling awesome t-shirts? Shit, I just call myself a stylist. I'm in the fashion industry now, chat. I'm in the fashion industry. We're just putting out dope-ass shirts that people want to buy. In fact, I prefer if people buy the shirts rather than donating to me, because then you get something. You get a cool shirt that you can wear as well. So check it out. Chill. Yeah. So yes, the shirts are sweet. Check those out. We're probably going to plan some more dope ones, but I want to make sure they're high quality. I don't want some crappy like shirt that you're going to get on like, you know, Miami Beach or something like that. Thank you. We Are the Change again. Fun times. You've been cooking, my brother. Thank you very much. Nick Haslam, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Says We Are the Change for the win. Merry New Year. What a community. What do you think of the 250-tone parabolic telescope move to Exmouth, West Australia from the United States in 2021? I don't know. What I will say, I have no idea about that, but thank you, Nick, for the donation. What I will say is that I think that our telescope capabilities and sensor capabilities are much more advanced than what the public understands. And really what I'm getting at there is gravitational waves. Gravitational waves, according to Robert M.L. Baker, he's going to be one of the scientists we're going to look at here in a second after the Lu Elizondo thing. They can be used for a lot of stuff, and the public doesn't even really understand it. I was asking Grok earlier, and Grok even says that we have gravity wave telescopes, like LIGO, for example. Alexander G, thank you very much for the donations. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, we're in it to win it, chat. We're in it to win it. We're not giving up. Here's the link. By the way, if you don't have access to the link, I put it in the description as well. So if you're interested, check it out. I'll probably post it or try to get it on my Twitter as well so you guys can check it out. I personally love the shirts. I'm probably going to buy one of my own because I had to give my brother one. I had to give him the 4 orbs one. So I need another one. Maybe they'll just send me another one. I need it. Okay. So this is a good question. Is there a way that a sensor might have found the zap? Yeah, the sensors found the zap. We know the sensors recognize the zap because we literally see it. We're seeing it right here in this video. Here it is. We're seeing the sensors detect the zap right here. In fact, based on the whammy footage, what we found was the reason why it seems to brighten up, or not brighten here, but the reason why it becomes more detailed here is that these sensors look for change. So the moment this zap goes off, the sensor would have detected a change, and now it's going to like hone in and look for more detail. So yeah, the sensors detected. Are they going to tell us? No, they're never going to tell us. I FOIA'd the Navy for the signals intelligence, and I got rejected. Or they said they don't have anything, but I don't know how to FOIA the right information, so it's going to be tough. Okay. Now, Lu Elizondo, guys, he recently had a book come out. First thing you need to know about his book is I dug into it, and he gets about $3 per book that he sells. That's generally how it works. It's been estimated. People looked into how many books Lu Elizondo sold. People are saying, oh, he's a bestseller on the New York Times list. And you're like, what does that mean? Turns out, apparently he's only sold about 25,000 books. So that means he's made roughly $75,000. Now, that's a decent amount of money. I'd love $75,000, not going to lie. But that is not, I don't think that would be considered successful for somebody of his magnitude and reach. Why? Because he had a whole PR campaign being done for him. He went on The Daily Show. He went on all the mainstream shows. He had millions and millions and millions and millions of views. Not even just millions, probably hundreds of millions of views. He was on all the mainstream shows, The Daily Show, everything. Yeah, 75,000 is a major flop. It's a major flop. To only have 25,000 books sold and get hundreds of millions of impressions on all these podcasts and appearances he did, it's a major flop. So, I have nothing against Lue Elizondo as a person. The thing I have against him is he's lying on the interviews he's doing. And he's lying by omission, which is one of the worst kinds of lies that's possible. He's trying to convince people that aliens are real, that he's not a conspiracy theorist, and all this technology out there, it has to be coming from the aliens. He says it repeatedly. The argument he says is the temporal argument. Because these things go back so far, it must be aliens. That is not a very sound, logical argument. We have no idea what's going on. There could be a breakaway civilization on this planet of humans that have this technology and have had it for hundreds of years, for all we know. We have no idea. So, if he's going to put one hand out and say that here are aliens, but say I have NDAs and I have to protect national security and hide something behind his back, then he should just not be coming out talking to the public. That is not what a whistleblower is. A whistleblower is somebody that breaks their NDA and reveals the information they have and risks going to prison. That's what a whistleblower is. That's what Edward C. Lynn did when he leaked the MH370 videos. He leaked the MH370 videos and he went to prison. That's a real whistleblower. Lue Elizondo has been clearly blessed by the Pentagon and the intelligence agencies to go out there and say that aliens are real because that's not a national security issue, but he has to hide the aspect of 0-point energy. He can't talk about the energy sources that we have obviously been working on related to cold fusion, plasma, or any type of weaponization like the plasma balls. So I'm going to present to you the deception of Lue Elizondo. First video is the video that he did where he diminished Stephen Greer. Now, right before I show this, I want to point out that I am not affiliated with Dr. Stephen Greer. I do not really agree with his CE5 stuff. but Stephen Greer has put in probably more than anybody else in the UFO community because he interviewed the Black Project engineers, like Hal Puthoff, like Tom Bearden, like Paul Siz, and Don Phillips, many, many, many guys that he interviewed. And he continues to have people coming forward. So he's done a huge amount of work that can actually reveal science and technology to us. And Lue Elizondo, the Jeremy Corbells, these guys, none of these guys are revealing technology to us. They almost never talk about the technology. So the first lie that we can catch Lue Elizondo in is where he pretends not to know who Dr. Stephen Greer is.
And those operatives are taught very well to take an issue, grab it, capture it, and then spin it in the direction that they want. Now, the direction they want is endless ambiguity. Gee, we don't know what they are. We don't know what they are. It's nonsense. We've proven what they are. Well, you know, I have 755 whistleblowers.
You have 755 whistleblowers?
Yeah. I mean, this archive is unbelievable.
You had mentioned that you...
Okay, so right before that, this is the Patrick Bet David podcast. That was them watching that clip. Stephen Greer is 100% right. The narrative that Lue Elizondo is pushing right there is that we can't know what it is. We don't know what this stuff is that's out there. It's like just some mystery and we don't understand it. 100% bullshit. They know exactly what it is. If they have footage like the MH370 videos and we know they have it, they know exactly what we're dealing with. We were able to figure out exactly that cold fusion's real, the gravity manipulation, we figure out the 0 point energy is real. We know all that. And Lue Elizondo's lead scientist is Hal Puthoff. He's the one that wrote all the papers about 0 point energy. So for Lue Elizondo to go out there and just lie and claim that we don't know what this is or how this stuff works, absolute bullshit. He's been in skiffs. He's been told exactly how it works. So if he's not going to go out there and talk about the technology and how it works, just get off the stage, bro. Step aside. Let me through. I'm just going to deal with it, okay? I'm tired of all the bullshit.
What do you think about what he says? Because
good book placement there, by the way.
Well, where are the whistleblowers? And I'll tell you,
where are the whistleblowers? I just told you guys, almost all the Black Project engineers that we watched are from Dr. Stephen Greer's Disclosure Archive. It's one of the best repositories out there. Where are the whistleblowers? The chief scientist that you keep quoting, Hal Puthoff, is one of those whistleblowers. He is one of those whistleblowers. This right here that I'm about to show you, this is from Dr. Stephen Greer's archive.
It's called Empty Space.
Right here, this one right here.
It's actually full of energy.
That's Hal Puthoff talking to Dr. Stephen Greer, explaining 0 point energy right there. What is he talking about? Where are the whistleblowers?
isn't he the same guy they wrote an article about, if I'm not mistaken, who apparently was accused of taking people on a tour and then paying some dude to pay, like $500 to drop flares out of a Cessna?
So I never heard anything about that story before I watched this. So first thing Lue Elizondo does is he lies and pretends like he doesn't know who Dr. Stephen Greer is. If you're in the UFO community for as long as Lue Elizondo claims to have been, for well over 10 years, you know who Dr. Stephen Greer is. It's absolutely insane how bad he is at lying right here. So again, we're catching this guy in multiple lies in just the first video. And he's claiming he read this article. He had the disinformation ready to go, exactly what Dr. Stephen Greer in the initial clip said that he would do. He tries to diminish him and discredit him by saying, isn't he the guy that I read this article claiming that he dropped flares from a Cessna?
Is that the same guy?
I don't know that.
Is that the same guy? You know exactly who he is.
I think there was an article.
He knows exactly what fake article he's talking about as well. By the way, spoiler alert, the article's complete bullshit.
You can, I think it was done by the Debrief, I think. Anyways, you know,
I'm good at poker, and I can just tell this guy is just so full of shit right here.
My mom always told me if I have nothing kind to say, don't say it at all. So
now you're gonna say if I have nothing kind to say, don't say it at all. You just literally put out a fake debunk that's not even real, and try to discredit the man.
So I've never met the man, but you know, it's nonsense. I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, look,
it's nonsense. You just proved him right. You just proved him right.
Where are the whistleblowers? You know, when I went to the IG, you know, and had my conversation, I didn't.
So here's the article he's talking about. Did Stephen Greer fake UFO with flares? Okay, guys, ready for this? I went and looked this up. I did some homework here. Here's the video.
Whoa, just don't pop too much.
Please.
This is the video that they're talking about.
Cameras.
This is the video where people claim that Stephen Greer paid somebody to drop flares for this video you're watching right here.
You see that color? Yeah. Them for or two.
Whoever's right in the front, if you
scopes, there's.
I'm just gonna mute this, but there you go. So I looked into it. I looked into the actual claims to see what was the truth about this and what was fiction. So that article that was just referenced, the debunkers reached out to the guy. They found what happened was they claimed that they looked at like flight radar. They found a plane that was in that region, and they said that plane must have dropped the flares out of the plane. So somebody reached out to the pilot, and they responded. You know what the pilot said? We never drop flares out of planes. Completely refuted the whole thing. There is zero evidence Stephen Greer paid anybody to drop flares out of a plane. Quite literally, no evidence at all. It's a completely fake story that was made up. Whether or not what we're seeing in this video is flares, I do not know, and I do not give a shit. I don't know if that's flares. I don't give a shit if this is flares, but there's no evidence that Stephen Greer paid anybody for flares. So Lu Elizondo pushed literal disinformation with no factual basis whatsoever. I believe the article he referenced even says that.
I know the ones that we talked.
Let me see if we can read it there. Can anyone read that? No, I don't see it there. But somewhere in there it says that they talked to the guy and there's no the guy just completely refuted the claim. So, yeah, I would argue that that is liable. But whatever. That's not my choice. Okay, next thing is now let's prove that Lue Elizondo is lying about 0-point energy. Ready? Why isn't it?
The power unlock more than the destructive force?
I think I'll save that when I'm not mic'd up.
So he just says right there, he just admits to Jesse Michaels he can't admit to the weaponization or the energy sources related to the technology.
Yeah, no worries.
Think of mass energy as the same thing.
So you need to get Planck scale energy.
Planck scale energy is 0-point energy.
A common theme here is we keep talking about the term national security. And I know you're here to interview me, but let me interview you just for a moment, if I may, if you'll indulge me. How do we? This is a sandbox here, right? Let's say there's a technology now. There's a toy that there's 12 kids in the sandbox, but there's only one toy, right?
What he's saying there is whoever has this technology wins. Whoever has this technology controls the planet. That's what he's saying right there. The subtext of this is that the United States needs to have this technology and nobody else so that we can control the planet for national security. That's what he's basically admitting to right here.
This toy has the ability to let everybody play together and be nice. The problem is human nature is such that most kids, how do we show the toy? How do we use this? Because we know there's countries to their advantage. So countries will, in a time of conflict, I think we can all agree that this technology has the chance to either bring us together or completely rip us apart once and for all.
So right there, he admits right there the technology can destroy the planet. This is the reason why they're hiding it. So we caught him right here in 4K. What is the national security issue? It's 0-point energy. It's the weaponization of the technology. It's the United States trying to monopolize the technology.
Right, like there's no coming back. How do you solve that problem? Who's going to take the moral high road and say, I give to you this technology and you shall use it for peaceful means? Who is that? The United Nations?
I think it's
Is it society writ large?
It's like the three-body problem. They know we're going to blow ourselves up, so they clamp down on the science, and they're responsible for a lot of the productive science.
Would humanity be okay with an overlord, an NHI babysitter? Is that freedom? Are you really free then if an NHI were to come down and say, okay, folks, this is a reality. Ha, ha, ha. We've been kind of playing with you a little bit, but here's reality. You're all going to play well with each other. You're all going to be able to enjoy this free energy and what.
I'm sorry. Repeat that again, Lue Elizondo. What's the NHI going to tell us?
You're all going to play well with each other. You're all going to be able to enjoy this free energy and whatnot.
You know what? It's not enough. I need to hear it a third time. One more time.
Play well with each other. You're all going to be able to enjoy this free energy and whatnot. But
whoops, accidentally dropped the line. Free energy. There it is. That's a pretty specific example that he's given right there. Boom! Gotcha, bitch. But gotcha. We gotcha. Okay, I'll get to these donations in a second. Let's keep going. We're not done yet. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show that Lu Elizondo literally admits that he's protecting national security.
I see 3 doors with you. I'm going to, maybe there's...
I don't think I want to watch this whole thing, but basically, Julian Dory actually asked a really good question here. Respect to Julian Dory for this question. I gained a lot of respect for him listening to this because he pushed Lu Elizondo, said, are you disinformation? Are you protecting national security? What is it that you're doing? That's what Julian Dory said.
That's and there's more doors than that. I mean, I can tell you the door that I think I'm in.
Okay, so he says, I'm going to tell you what my stance is on the UFO thing. Let's listen very carefully.
Okay,
you know,
let's hear that.
But it's a little different. First of all, let me put cards on the table. If you ask me to choose between national security and disclosure, like real national security, I will always choose national security.
Boom! Gotcha, bitch! We gotcha. We gotcha. If you ask me to choose between disclosure and national security, I'm going to choose national security every time. You tell me if you trust somebody with disclosure that quotes you on that says that. What do I say if you were to ask me that question? I would say they shouldn't have teleported MH370 out of the sky and let me see those videos because now they're fucked. Because I'm going all out. Whoops. Let's listen to it again.
But it's a little different. First of all, let me put cards on the table. If you ask me to choose between national security and disclosure, like real national security, I will always choose national security.
I love it. You know what? I'm going to clip this after this.
You ask me to choose between national security and disclosure, like real national security, I will always choose national security.
Listen, I just want this on repeat. I just want to have
national
this
security and disclosure,
on repeat.
like real national security, I will always choose national security. I've never made any bones about it. I love my country and I will protect and defend this country. Period. Full stop.
100% sellout. No question. Sold out. His book, whatever it is, what he has in his book was literally signed off by the government. Absolute sellout. I can't believe anybody trusts this guy with national security. If Trump appoints this guy the UFO czar, whatever crap that is, I'm going to eviscerate him every single day. I'm not even done yet, chat. I'm not even done yet. This is just the clips I've been collecting over the last year. Don't mess with somebody who's a citizen investigator. I will clip every little thing that you say and destroy you with your own words. Now let's hear him admit that he knows exactly about the science. Elizondo knows exactly about the science. Here he is.
Tell the audience.
So here he is on Glenn Beck. Listen to this. He explains warp drive and wormhole.
And that's usually expressed as a function of distance over time, right? And you can express that linearly. But if you had the ability to compress space-time a little bit in front of you, all of a sudden now your distance between A and B is shortened significantly, right?
Correct.
And so
it's kind of like an Einstein wormhole, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really the same principle of a black hole. So
it's really the same principle as a black hole, an Einstein-Rosen wormhole. Did you just hear that, chat? Remember what Salvatore Pais said? He said, I saw that black hole. I knew that black hole was about to form. Let's call it a black hole. A wormhole is functionally equivalent to a black hole. Let's listen to it again.
Sudden now, your distance between A and B is shortened significantly, right?
Correct.
And so
it's kind of like an Einstein wormhole, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really the same principle of a black hole. So a black hole is nothing.
Look at how excited he is when he says that as well, right here.
Kind of like an Einstein wormhole, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really the same principle of a black hole. He's
so excited when he says that. You guys know what's coming next. So what is what does Glenn Beck say in response right after that question? This is what he says.
Did you see the theory on the missing Malaysia airliner where it was? Have you seen that?
I've seen it, and I'm always very.
Yeah, Lou, have you seen it? Look at his facial expression do a 180-degree flip. Now, he was so excited just a second ago. Now he's looking down. He's trying to figure out what lie bullshit he's going to tell to protect national security, to hide the technology. Here we go.
Very careful for me, Glenn, because recently, so look, I'm a science guy, right? I've always just follow the science.
You're a science. No, you're not a science guy. You're not a scientist. You're none of those things. You're a counter intel agent. You're not a science guy. You have nothing to do with science. You're counterintelligence. That's literally what your job is.
Recently, about 3 weeks ago, Google, someone on Wikipedia
why does this Google story about Wikipedia matter?
Decided to label me as a quote-unquote conspiracy theorist.
Somebody labeled you as a conspiracy theorist? You are one. You're saying that we're hiding aliens from the world. You're doing a whole PR campaign that's been orchestrated by somebody else for you to tell people that we're hiding aliens from the world. That's called a conspiracy theory. You are a conspiracy theorist.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all.
Yes, you are. You are 100% a conspiracy theorist. That was the whole point of all of your appearances.
That's just someone trying to minimize, this topic and kind of chip away at the narrative. I'm very careful to be open-minded about everything. I know that the Malaysia Airlines.
By the way, he had me blocked for a year before this interview.
And there were some people that were claiming there was maybe some UAP involvement. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
He doesn't say my name there, even though he knows who I am. I know 100% Lue Elizondo knows who I am. My sources told me he knows who I am. And one of my fans went and met him before this interview and asked him about me and the plane. He 100% knows who I am, and he avoids saying my name here, which is a counter intel move because you don't want to have anybody go find Ashton Forbes. This guy's just a piece of fucking shit.
Some UAP involvement. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I did not pursue it. I know some of the people that I've talked to who were dead for it and dead against it. Something it's a complete nonsense. It's fake. Others said, no, that looks legit. And I could not tell you, Len.
Who told you it's legit? He just said somebody told him it's legit. Was it Hal Puthoff? The guy who's your main lead scientist, who literally is the scientist I'm telling you has all the scientific papers. We're going to go look at them in a second about 0 point energy.
No idea. Okay. I am not I do not go down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
I don't go down. What are you talking about, man? Don't you want disclosure? No, you don't. I forgot. I just listened to you say you don't want disclosure. You want to protect national security.
Very often, simply because.
Honestly, that's enough of this douchebag. So the last thing I want to show you related to Lue Elizondo, dude, such a piece of shit, man, is this. Where are my other things? Let's pull this over to the side. Here's Lue Elizondo's book. Here's Lue Elizondo's book, everybody. This is that book. Remember that flop of a book? Here you go. What does it say here? I'm going to read it out to you. A Predator drone, a UAV, aka one of the drones, like the drone video. Camera picked up 3 luminous objects, just 3 dots. The dots began to fly in a regimented formation. What kind of formation? Oh, a perfect triangle formation. The dots approached the Predator. They became more distinguishable. They were not only flying, they were solid in structure. Okay, somebody saw a video like that, and they're trying to pretend like they don't know that these videos right here are real. That's exactly what are we looking at right there? We're looking at a Predator drone filming 3 orbs of energy that are solid in structure, circling around in a perfect triangle formation around the plane. How is it possible that Lue Elizondo does not know that MH370 videos are real? Obviously, he knows the videos are real. He's also got to be familiar with whammy footage as well. And the whammy footage, anybody that's seen whammy footage is going to know immediately that MH370 videos are real. This is why I know that all these intel people are completely full of shit. And we just learned exactly what their narrative is. They are going to choose national security over disclosure every time. The MH370 videos will destroy the U.S. government. The legal liability alone is probably going to approach trillions of dollars. Just the legal liability. Boeing is not going to go down for it. That is why they threw out the case out of the United States. Yo, you guys got to chill on the super chats. I'm going to get them in just a second, guys. Okay, actually, we're going to get to them right now. Okay, holy shit, what just happened? I'm just going to go in order because there's a lot of super chats came in. Martin Fisher, wow. Huge donation. I'm following you on X for the better part of the year, and while I'm still somewhat skeptical, you are convincing me and the world day by day in an entertaining way. That's my goal, man. That's my goal. Keep doing what you're doing and give me a follow on X. Okay, I will. You for $50, you can get a follow on X, my brother. I wrote it down here. I'll do it right after this. And yes, somebody also told me, I was talking to offline, and they said that, you know, the way that you're engaging with people about this science, it really, you know, it's attractive isn't the right word, but people gravitate towards it. And that's the point. I want to at least make it fun. I don't want to have a boring stream where I just sit there and I'm quiet. I'd rather get energy involved here, you know? That's what this is all about anyway, 0 point energy. Ace, thank you very much for that $10 donation. Let's blow the lid off MH370 so nobody will fall for the fake. I think we already destroyed the fake alien invasion. The fake alien invasion can't work anymore because these orbs come down and everyone's going to be like, Ashton knows, Ashton knows. Everyone's going to be like, interview Ashton. You got to interview Ashton. He knows that these are orbs that we created. And yes, we are the change. Of course, I played the Glenn Beck clip. Of course, I played it. I told the UFO community, I'm going to tear down every single one of your false idols. And it's the perfect comparison. In the Bible, it says you should not pray to false idols. It's one of the commandments. These people are praying to false idols. None of these people are pro-disclosure. What they are is they're pro-national security. They are intentional government plants out there to make sure that we never get real disclosure. Because real disclosure means criminal charges and civil fines beyond what people could imagine. Ramona Richardson, $50 super sticker. Wow. Thank you so much, Ramona. That is huge. I'm going to do the super chats when we close out at the end as well, just because I didn't even know you could donate that much. Mark, Scott, thank you. Holy shit. This is the biggest donation I've ever gotten. I don't even know how you did that. And by the way, if you want to get t-shirts, you buy the t-shirts, you know, I like that, but thank you, man. That's a huge donation. Thank you so much. We'll put it to good use. We'll try to make sure that we get over the finish line with this stuff. And if anything happens to me, there's going to be other people that'll pick up the reins. So whatever. I'm happy to be a martyr if that's what this takes. In fact, you know what I'm going to play right now before we get to that last super chat? I've got a little clip. Here's my attitude for how this is going to all play out. Ready?
To stop me, you're going to have to fucking kill me! If you want to stop me, you're going to have to fucking kill me!
You hear that, spooks? You hear that shit? Pay attention. DeVos, $100. Wow, this is catastrophic disclosure. The CIA should have paid you off, brother. Yeah, they messed up big time. In the cosmic scheme of things, $10 million would have been nothing compared to how much civil and criminal penalties are coming down the pipe. Now, they might just try to drag this out like they did with the JFK stuff until everybody's died off, but this thing is rising too quickly. Look at how much growth we've had in just a little over 1 year. I have almost more followers than everyone in the UFO community. In 1 year, I almost have more followers than everyone in the UFO community. They are in big, big trouble at this point. And $10 million is not enough anymore. Now I want $100 million. You give me $100 million. You find a way to make it happen. $100 million. And I'll say that the videos are fake, VFX, whatever the hell you want me to say. You want me to blame it on the Iranians? $100 million. If I get $100 million, I can make everybody rich in my Discord. Every MH37X follower gets, I don't know, $100,000 or something like that. I don't know, 50,000. I don't know, however it works out. Okay. First of all, just once again, thank you for those donations. Holy shit, you guys were just going wild on there. For the people who said, your attitude went to shit real quick. I don't give a shit. How many times has being nice gotten us disclosure, everybody? How many times has being nice uncovered the biggest conspiracy in the history of the world? Oh, yeah, never. Never. You know what? Maybe it's time to try something different. Maybe it's time to expose the fraudsters, expose the scammers, expose the liars, and get real disclosure. You know what? Real disclosure requires people getting their feelings hurt. That's what's going to happen. And this is a lesson that I'm going to teach you guys, is that regardless of how you feel about somebody, it has no basis whatsoever on whether or not they're correct and they're truthful. For idiots that are out there, idiots often confuse confidence with arrogance and ego. They often confuse being correct with being egotistical. Don't be an idiot. Be somebody that can say, I don't agree with everything that person's doing or the way that they're doing it, but you know what? They're right. If you want to go put on my grave, Ashton Forbes was an asshole. You can etch that underneath. Ashton Forbes was right. And you know what? What will that lead us to? That will lead us to a world where we're in Star Trek. And if I have to be considered an asshole for us to get to the world of Star Trek, it seems like a pretty small price to pay. I don't know about you guys. Intage. How do we help protect you? Don't worry about protecting me. Don't worry about protecting me at all. Social media. You guys are already protecting me by following, by increasing the profile. We've already done way too many podcasts. Everything has been recorded. And my goal is not to convince people that the videos are real. People think that I'm trying to convince people the videos are real. I'm not. All I'm doing is documenting the proof and the evidence so that when people realize in the future that this science is real and what have you, that they look back and they go, oh man, that Ashton Forbes guy was 100% right. And there's no way to steal the credit or to try to make some narrative where they try to claim that I got this cold fusion and 0-point energy stuff all right, but no, those videos are still fake. We definitely didn't zap that plane that's still missing 25 years later. That's the goal that I'm doing. I'm not trying to make anyone feel good. I'm not trying to sit there and convince every debunker that the videos are real. I don't give a shit about that. I'm setting this up. The people that I'm doing this for are the people in the future. So when they go to the future and they realize Ashton Forbes was right, they look back and they go, how is it that everybody was so stupid? They go, how are all these people so dumb that they believed all these stupid debunk attempts? How are people so dumb that they were listening to literal government spooks and counterintelligence agents that literally said that they are on the side of national security over disclosure? How were humans so dumb? That way, the people in the future can look back at this and they can learn a valuable lesson. That lesson is all the institutions that you trust and believe in are fraudulent. That includes the government. That includes academia. And that includes the media. They're all fraudulent organizations, and the UFO community never did shit. You could argue the UFO community wasn't even trying to achieve disclosure. That's what I'm doing this for. Sandy, Colorado. Ashton, remember me when you are rich and famous. Guys, if I ever get rich and famous, I'm going to be like those famous rich people that like just try to help people out all the time. Like that's what I want to do. That's that kind of person I want to be, honestly. Let's get to the science, guys, because we only have about 30 minutes. So we're going to have to probably do the shortcut on the science here. So I wanted to show people, okay, we talked shit about some people. Now let's go look at the important scientific papers, and I'm just going to summarize them very quickly. As you'll see here when I share the screen, there's a shitload of them. I've got, like, I don't know how many, 10 different links to go through here. This is the DIRDS. Okay, before we get to that, let's do this. Alt Protestant. Thank you very much for that donation. $10 donation. Hey, Ashton, been here since the earliest. Watching your streams has inspired me to study engineering and physics in college. My physics classmates are divided over the videos as well. That's fine. Let them be, you know, and learn what they teach you. But when you get home at night, you should go learn about Tesla. When you get home at night, you should learn about Tom Bearden and Hal Puthoff and all. You should read all of these papers. If I was in physics, in school for physics, what I would be doing when I go home is reading these papers. And then I would be applying the normie ways that I learned, because you're going to learn the history of all the big names. Apply that to what you see in these papers. These are the most important papers, physics papers, possibly ever. Most important scientific papers. There are 38 of these papers, 37. Aneutronic fusion propulsion is cold fusion. Aneutronic fusion is cold fusion. They have a million names for cold fusion. It's annoying. So I highlighted a few of my favorite ones. Advanced space propulsion based on vacuum space-time metric engineering. That's Hal Puthoff. Traversable wormholes, stargates, negative energy. That's Eric Davis. Concepts for extracting energy from the quantum vacuum. Once again, that's Eric Davis and Hal Puthoff. High-frequency gravitational wave communication. That's Robert M.L. Baker. I forget which one is Paul Sis. His was either anti-gravity for aerospace applications or it was the metamaterial one. There are also some directed energy ones related to lasers in here as well. There's also warp drives, dark energy, and the manipulation of extra dimensions. I believe that one's also Eric Davis. The role of superconductors in gravity research. That's all about Eugene Potklanov and Ning Li. So I've read, I don't know how many of these I've read. Let's say I've probably read like 10 of these. So probably could do more. Ultra capacitors are basically batteries that can discharge very quickly. And they can store energy for a very long time. So these papers are amazing. You guys are definitely going to want to read as many of these papers as you can. Incredible, incredible work. Look at all these papers. Hal Puthoff is the one that commissioned all these papers. The DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, commissioned these papers through Hal Puthoff, through Earth Tech. Hal Puthoff went to all his Black Project engineers, and he had them write all these papers. He knew all the legit people. Negative mass propulsion by Winterberg, Project Paperclip scientist. These are not lightweights. The people that wrote these papers are serious business. Timmer, thank you for the donation. Looking at Ken Wheeler. Yeah, I know all about Ken Wheeler. I've shown some of his stuff. I like him, but he's overly complicated. The difference between me and Ken Wheeler is that I try to keep it super simple for people. I don't try to like talk over people or try to like be too complicated with the way that I speak about this stuff. Normal people need to be able to understand this without all these like extra fancy words, pretty much. But Ken Wheeler, I think, generally understands the universe in the right perspective. Okay, let's go to the next one. I think I'm going to close that. Okay, this one is not a scientific paper. Oh, you know what? I should have kept that up. That's okay. I'm not going to close the rest of these. I'm going to link these into the description right after we stop the stream in about 20 minutes. This one right here. No, these scientific papers, these are all available. I'm going to put all the links to all these scientific papers in the description. You can check out the description right after this. I'll have them all listed out. This one is actually a patent by David Brian Clemens, and it has to do with counter-rotating vortices for pulling energy out of plasma. Basically, what he's saying here is that plasma will allow us to extract energy from the zero-point fluctuations and to nullify the forces of gravity and inertia or the properties of mass. The reason why you want to read this is that all the background that you see right here, this is basically the history of zero-point energy right here, what you're reading right here. I'll just read the first couple sentences. The existence of zero-point energy was first postulated by Max Planck in 1912. Zero-point energy is required by quantum theory, where the Heisenberg uncertainty principle mandates there can never be a condition of no energy present. And then down here, he explains this energy is referred to 0 point because it is present even at absolute zero Kelvin, where all thermal activity ceases. This proves that space is not empty. This existence of 0-point energy, I'm going to switch the views here. I'll just read it. This existence of 0-point energy has been experimentally confirmed by the Lamb shift and the Casimir effect. Other evidence for the existence of 0-point energy includes the observation that helium-3 remains a liquid at the temperature of absolute zero. That is impossible unless it is receiving some form of energy to keep it in a liquid state. So the reason why this one's not a scientific paper, but the background is the best background I've ever read on 0-point energy, except for my own work. It lays out the history of it, proves that it's real scientifically, and it explains the concept of it. So you should check this one out if you want to understand more about 0-point energy. Let's go to Hal Puthoff's stuff next. So Hal Puthoff's work in general, his work is so good that you literally just have to go through all of his publications. His publications began with the ground state of the hydrogen atom as a 0-point energy fluctuation. And what he's saying in that is he's saying that the hydrogen atom at rest, not moving, doesn't radiate energy. But what we just heard is that the Heisenberg uncertainty principle means that the hydrogen atom should be radiating energy because it's not stopped. So if it's not stopped, if it's moving, why is energy not coming off of it? And the answer is because it's losing energy at the same rate it's gaining energy. It's in an equilibrium. So the hydrogen atom is pulling energy from the 0-point energy. The hydrogen atom's here. It's pulling energy out, and it's losing energy at the same rate. So overall, the net rate of energy is 0. That's Hal Puthoff's first paper on 0-point energy. The second one is gravity as a 0-point fluctuation force. In this one, he's basically saying that the 0-point energy all around us, the peaks and the valleys in the 0-point energy, that's gravity. So here's the 0-point energy. If I'm on Earth, you have it like this: gravity, negative gravity, gravity, negative gravity. That's basically what Hal Puthoff's saying. And he's saying that it's at the Planck scale. He's saying that it is at the quantum scale, so you can't shield it either. This is why when you make a Faraday cage, it doesn't manipulate gravity. Because if you make a Faraday cage around something, the 0-point energy is already on the inside. Can't manipulate it. Source of vacuum electromagnetic 0-point energy. He's saying here's the existence and the source of the vacuum energy. Basically, using quantum mechanics, you can show that the Heisenberg uncertainty principle says there's all this energy all around us. Implications for energy research, self-explanatory. Here we go. Quantum fluctuations of empty space, new Rosetta Stone in physics. So in 1991, Hal Puthoff was saying 0-point energy answers all the questions in physics. It answers all the questions in physics. If you want to be a good PhD physicist, read every single one of Hal Puthoff's papers after 1987, starting with hydrogen one that I just showed you guys. Read all of these. He is the #1 expert in the world on 0-point energy, and it's not particularly close. Also, people were trying to argue about his gravity as a 0-point fluctuation force, and he refuted all of them. That's why you see these reply to comments. People were saying, no, you did the math wrong. And he said, nope, I didn't do the math wrong. You're just an idiot. Basically, Hal Puthoff's a nicer guy than me, but these replies basically say, no, you're an idiot. I know about better than you. This one here by Cole is a very important one, 1993. This one here basically says that if we extract energy from the vacuum, it does not violate the laws of thermodynamics. I'm going to repeat that. Extracting energy from the quantum vacuum does not violate the laws of thermodynamics. This is important because back in like the 70s, people thought that solar and wind power violated the laws of thermodynamics. They thought, sure, you can collect the wind, but it would take a certain amount of energy to process it, and that energy would offset the amount of energy you would gain. Well, they were wrong. Obviously and hilariously wrong. And they're going to be wrong again about being able to pull energy out of the vacuum. We can pull energy out of the vacuum. It does not violate the laws of thermodynamics. The reason why it does not violate the laws of thermodynamics, good question. We have this energy here. First law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So you'd say free energy is not possible. Good thing we have a reservoir. Imagine this reservoir of energy here is wind or sun. We have an unlimited reservoir of energy. So we're not violating the laws of thermodynamics. We're pulling the energy out of the 0-point energy and we're using it actively. This is where I would say the real answer is that all the energy, all the light you see around you is coming from the 0-point energy field. In my opinion, that's the right way to think about it. All energy we're using is coming from the 0-point energy field. The energy is not actually beaming at the speed of light from the power plant through the wires to my light and the lamp in the background. So First law, no problem, because we're still conserving energy. Whatever we pull out here is lost from the 0-point energy field. If I pull this energy out, I gain an equivalent amount in that around me. The second law of thermodynamics is basically about heat flowing to cold. The second law of thermodynamics is basically not violated for the same reason, because we're adding an extra input. Most people say that the second law of thermodynamics says that you can't get more energy out of a system than what you put in. So you put in some energy, you can't get more out because you're going to lose a little bit of energy due to inefficiency. However, we have a little bit coming in over here, and then we add another input, the 0-point energy, or from down here, if you want to say it. We add this energy into our system, and now we have two inputs. We have the input that we're putting in locally, and we have the 0-point energy coming in. Now, this means if you add these together, you can get more energy out than what you initially put in. Coefficient of performance greater than 1 is possible. It is 100% possible. Things like heat pumps also show this. You're using less energy to move heat around than the total energy of the heat that you've gained when you moved it. So the second law of thermodynamics is also not violated. Most people simply do not understand the second law of thermodynamics in the context of 0-point energy. Great question on that one. I'm glad you asked that. And this is why I say, obviously it sounds egotistical, but once again, if you're correct, of course it sounds egotistical. This is why I say I understand the universe better than the vast majority of PhD physicists do. It's just a matter of certain people are wrong and certain people are right. I mean, I can't change that, guys. There's nothing I can do about it. If the PhD physicists don't want to realize that none of their models work and that there's clearly something missing and why they have to invent stuff like dark energy and dark matter, there's nothing I can do about that other than just say they're wrong. Sorry. So Bernard Haish, Alfonso Ruda, and Hal Puthoff here then say that 0-point energy also explains inertia, the resistance to acceleration. The reason why we can't accelerate to the speed of light is that the faster we go, the more inertia we get, and therefore the more energy it takes to speed up faster and faster and faster. That's why everybody thinks we can't achieve the speed of light. This right here is saying, this is saying that if we reduce the 0-point energy, it reduces inertia. And that means now that whole problem of going faster and faster and faster, it's not a problem anymore. It's not a problem. What the? Dude. Wow. 300 pounds? Isn't there a limit on how much you can donate? I'm going to have to set a limit. Wow, GTE. Thank you. In the Leonard Ashton Forbes video, the person says, how do you defeat someone that can turn skyscrapers to dust? Maybe an energy weapon. They're definitely referencing an energy weapon. The orbs are an energy weapon. 9/11 was an extremely hot event to the point it took firefighters months and not days to put out the fire. Even a plane went missing in that event. Could be another MH370. I don't dig into 9/11, but here's a thought that I had. I'm going to take it in a completely different direction than the 9/11 conspiracy theorists. What if the reason why everything turned to dust on 9/11 was because of some sort of cavitation effect for the tower collapsing? So it created a pressure. So the tower collapses and you have this massive pressure. And what if that pressure is not understood right now by the mainstream view of physics? But what if it is understood by the 0-point energy view of physics? That's the theory that I just thought of earlier today. So I'm kind of glad you asked this question and gave this amazing, amazing, amazing donation. Holy crap. But I will be honest. I'm not interested in digging into 9/11 conspiracy theories, mostly because they'll be used to discredit me and also because I don't find it to be productive. Whether or not there was a conspiracy around 9/11 isn't going to change anything about the world. The people that already know there's clandestine stuff happening, we don't need 9/11 to prove that there's clandestine stuff happening. There's a lot of sketchy, evil, clandestine stuff happening all the time. I know there are people that are dedicated to proving it. I have to be honest with you. It's extremely unlikely that it will ever be proven, but everybody should follow whatever path they want to follow. And another donation by Quinn, $5. Here from the start, had all your notifications on for everything in Eagan, Minnesota. Skol Vikings, bro. That victory over the Packers, so sweet. Can you address Mick's claim about the 2 frames matching? You know what? I will address that for you real quick. There are no 2 matching frames. It was actually very simple to prove that debunk was fake. You can do something called, somebody in the chat will know. Can somebody help me on the chat? There is it's like a reverse pixel comparison. Is that the right way to call it? Reverse pixel comparison. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And so people just did a reverse pixel comparison because they said these two frames match, and they clearly don't match. So you just do a reverse pixel comparison, and then you can see that they don't match. Let me see where it's at. I have the image somewhere around here. Sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this here that I'm going to show you is the pixel comparison of the 2 frames that do not match. This picture would be white if they matched. Everywhere where you don't see white is a difference. Everywhere you don't see white is a difference. So right away, you can see that the reticle isn't even in the right spot. And the plane overlay doesn't match either. The reason why it's even somewhat close is because it's the same plane. It's not like the plane is changing shape. The plane's not changing shape. What the debunkers did is they resized one frame, and they said, oh, it matches. That's like me taking a small picture of you and a large picture of you and making the small picture of you the same size as the large picture of you and saying, these 2 things are the same. You're like, yeah, I mean, both of them are pictures of me. You just changed the scaling on them. So the frames don't match. There's your proof on that one. The reason why I don't even really address that one is it's just so stupid. There's another one, too, that maybe I'll just do real quick, that Mick West fabricated a fake debunk. I could prove this in a court of law as well. Mick West fabricated a fake debunk where he said there were jittery contrails, and it turned out to be an artifact of the stabilization software that Mick West was using. And all we had to do to prove that it was wrong, what was happening was that the stabilization software was picking up the smoke as being the same color as the background. They were both blue. So all we had to do was change it to black and white, and then you can see that there's no stabilization issue. There's no jittery contrails or whatever they're saying. They were saying that the contrails move, or they got me doing it. They were saying that the smoke was disconnected from the plane. But if you look at the top one where it's been stabilized in black and white, there is no issue of jittery smoke. So yes, that's every single debunk that's out there. They've all been 100% refuted, and that's the end. Yeah, Mick West is a complete fraud, complete phony and fraud. He's a straight up con man, honestly. Mick West is literally a con man because he knows he's lying. That's the crazy part. Mick West knows he's lying. Is that he literally, and the reason why I know that is that it wasn't just me correcting him on those. Even people that are debunkers that don't agree with me were correcting Mick West and telling him that it was a factor of the stabilization, and he refused to listen. Refused. And I told him, you owe me an apology for lying about this. You can find my tweets. I didn't delete any of them. And he refused to apologize for it, even though his own debunkers were telling them that he was wrong. And so what did I do in response? I blocked him. I'm never going to unblock Mick West, not in a million years. Okay. Now let's get back to this real quick. So Bernard Hayes is important too, just as a side note, because Bernard Hayes is the Casimir cavity patent where they're extracting energy from the quantum vacuum using a microchip. Using a microchip. Bernard Hayes, Lockheed Martin engineer, and Garrett Model, professor emeritus at University of Colorado. Now, I'm going to skip through most of these, but here you go. Physics is a zero-point field, implications for inertia, mass, and gravitation. Again, all 3 of them. They're basically right here saying zero-point energy explains mass, inertia, and gravitation. Current mainstream physics can't explain any of these. Mainstream physics can't explain any of these things right now. And it can't explain dark matter or dark energy. It's crazy. I'm going to skip ahead. I just want to show you the last one. Oh, and by the way, this is the paper right here. Polarizable vacuum. This is basically what he was going to win the Nobel Prize for. And he's going to win one day if I have anything to do with it. The polarizable vacuum, basically how Puthoff wrote like a comprehensive, this is how you manipulate space-time using zero-point energy. So Hal Puthoff's the GOAT, guys. He's the GOAT, but he's also the final boss and a major gatekeeper. The last one I'm going to show you is this most recent one. Ultra-terrestrial models. If you don't know what ultra-terrestrials are, the idea of ultra-terrestrial is that there's a civilization on our planet, either related to us or some other race, like underneath the water or something like that. So there's like basically a breakaway civilization out there. And this whole paper goes into what it would look like if there was another super advanced civilization living on our planet with us at the same time, and how they would manipulate our entire social structure. And it basically presents the argument that that's what's going on with the whole UFO phenomenon. How is he writing this paper in 2022? That's his final paper. He's like, okay, I've explained how to extract energy, that zero-point energy is exponential. And oh, by the way, there's probably ultra-terrestrials on the planet. That's kind of like a curveball, chat. So I love Hal Puthoff. He's my favorite. He's the GOAT. Let's look at one more donation. Ashton, awesome work. Keep digging. When you talk free energy and cold fusion, make you ask the most important question. What is the EROI? I have no idea what that means. EROI needs to be greater than 12 to sustain the global economy. Anyone in the chat knows what that means? I have no idea what that means. So if somebody can tell me what that means, that would be great. Max donating is on 500. Do not change it to less. You will get this. I'm sure. No one donate that many. I'm not joking around. Do not. I will feel uncomfortable. I'm actually dropping it down to 100 right after this. I didn't even know it went that high. They must have automatically reset it. I don't feel comfortable when people donate that much money to me, honestly. But thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I just, whatever. So here is the paper, Traversable Wormholes, Stargates, and Negative Energy. In this paper, Eric Davis basically explains that we can produce a traversable wormhole. The big issue is how much energy it would take. We have free energy all around us. I'll go to this view, actually. And he also says that we can reduce the amount of energy it takes by making a very thin shell, a bubble. The thinner you make your bubble, the less energy it takes to produce your wormhole. So it actually is just like how we would make like a soap bubble, for example. It can be very, very thin. So this massively reduces the amount of energy required for a wormhole. He also explains how we can produce negative energy, observing negative energy in the lab. Now, instead of playing that, I'm just going to play a video for you because I'm lazy as shit. Eric Davis, negative energy. Was it just called Davis negative energy? Wait, where is it? What? Oh, there it is.
You think it's not possible to travel fast and speak
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
So this guy says negative energy is not real. I don't care. This guy's an idiot. Let's go to what Eric Davis says. So that guy says negative energy is not real.
Regards to negative energy. So in your view, do you think that in either of our lifetimes, we will see the experimental, I guess you could say, amplification of negative energy produced in the laboratory to a magnitude in which the negative energy can then be harnessed for something like propulsion?
I can't predict it. We're already producing negative energy through the Casimir cavities and squeeze states of light.
We're already producing negative energy through Casimir cavities and squeezed states of light. So that's what this paper also basically says. If I go down here to this observing energy in the lab, right here, these pages, and I know because I've basically memorized this paper, he's basically explaining in these 3 to 5 pages, squeeze quantum vacuum. He explains how you can make a laser, squeeze the laser, and you can pull the negative energy pulses right here and separate them from the positive energy pulses. This was what it says right here, concentrated negative energy. Boom. Boom, chat. So that's a really, really good paper. This paper, Metamaterials for Aerospace Applications, I think was written by Paul Sis. I could be wrong. This one was interesting because it talks about materials that could have refractive indexes that are negative. So this metamaterials one basically says we can create these magical type effects, like negative energy based effects, by manipulating the metamaterial, by making a super material, like changing at the atomic level the composition of the elements that form a metal or something like that. It also talks about making lenses that can beat the what is it called? Optical distance. I'm forgetting about. Oh, focal distance. That you can potentially, might even be able to make microscopes that can see viruses. We can potentially make microscopes that can see things that are extremely, extremely small. So this paper I just thought was awesome in general. Before we get to that, was there more donations? Yeah, there's one more. I don't usually donate, but this is bigger than JFK, 9/11, and COVID-19. It really is. This is where I say, guys, it's the biggest conspiracy in the history of the world. And I'm not joking. It just is. And those conspiracies are pretty big conspiracies. JFK, 9/11, and COVID-19. Like, they're pretty big psyops and conspiracies. But this somehow beats them all. If it was just the airplane, of course it wouldn't beat them. If it was just the airplane going missing and covering up an airplane. But this is covering up an airplane and literally hiding physics from the world, hiding free energy from the world, hiding warp drives and wormholes from the world. It's a crime against humanity. And Lu Elizondo is going, crime against this. Now I'm going to pretend like I'm Lue Elizondo. Crime against humanity or aliens. National security. Should I protect national security or do I want disclosure? Do I want free energy or do I want to gatekeep all this stuff for the government? And Lue Elizondo is going, nah, we're not going to get any free energy. I'm going to gatekeep this. I think that we're going to destroy ourselves or whatever else. You know what? In a different time, in a different place, I might even agree with him. Now, this paper right here is Tom Bearden. I had to get a Tom Bearden paper in there, guys. This paper, dark matter or dark energy, this paper basically says that 0-point energy negates the requirement for dark energy and dark matter. I love this paper. I love this paper. Would I hide this tech if I had it? If they were paying me as much as Hal Puthoff's probably getting paid, I'd probably be a gatekeeper too, chat. Let's just not pretend like we're all like perfect angels. If I have this magical technology and I have millions and millions and millions of dollars, I would probably be a gatekeeper too. I get why they do it. It's fucked up. I would probably try to get the information out to the public in a what I thought would be a safe way. But that's not the cards that I was dealt. Guys, I can only play the cards that I was dealt. And the cards that I was dealt was just wanted to solve the mystery of a missing airplane. And next thing I know, I'm watching warp drives teleport a freaking plane out of the sky. And now I've got to dig into all this and figure out what's going on. And we just happen to uncover the biggest conspiracy of all time. So this paper basically explains that dark energy and dark matter are not necessary. Wow. Thank you very much. Hey, Ocean. Wait, why is this red? Is this messed up? Thank you very much. Hey, Ocean. I appreciate the donation. You're awesome. Appreciate you. Maybe it's probably cumulative. That's probably why. Okay. Thank you, Hey, Ocean. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, no more lies. The other thing I want to say is that it's just lie after lie with these people, man. This is what I didn't talk to the Pentagon today. I'm talking to them tomorrow. I'm just going to tell the guy, I'm sick of the fucking lies, man. I just want someone to level with me and for once tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. These people are such scumbag pieces of shit, filled with lie after lie after lie. And they think they're doing it for noble reasons, to protect national security. Just stop lying. I can't wait for this Professor Dave guy to come at me. I've already been collecting clips on this guy. I am going to end Professor Dave's career. That guy is a scammer, fraudster, piece of shit. He's not even a scientist. He's a fucking retard. I can't wait for this guy to come at me. I cannot wait. I've been preparing for it. I tried to watch one of his videos. I couldn't even get through 30 seconds. His narcissism and just condescending garbage tone when he knows absolutely nothing about physics. He dropped out of school twice just to be a piece of shit debunker YouTuber. He's a scumbag, terrible person. He's one of the few people that after he realizes the depths of the lies and how he's implicated in being a garbage human being and lying to people and pretending like he's better than them, if he decides to check out of the planet, I won't even feel that bad, actually. He's one of the few people where I wouldn't even feel that bad. Some of these people like him, they're going to have a mental breakdown when they realize that all the institutions that they think are their authority to tell them the truth are all full of shit. That guy's going to be in a psych ward sucking his thumb in the corner. Wow, you guys are going crazy, man. Y'all gotta chill. Christy Bryan, thank you for that super sticker. You are awesome, Christy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Christy. That's awesome. It's a huge donation. Thank you. This one, Robert M.L. Baker Jr., Modern Practical Application of the Theory of General Relativity. The story of high frequency. Oh, you're not even seeing this. The story of high frequency gravitational waves. Robert M.L. Baker worked for Lockheed Martin. He won a Lifetime Achievement Award for high frequency gravitational waves in 2011. High frequency gravitational waves are laboratory produced gravitational waves. Low frequency gravitational waves are ones that are celestial, like two black holes merging. That's low frequency gravitational waves. This guy already had like 20 papers on high frequency gravitational waves before we even had public confirmation that they even exist. Think about that. We didn't learn that gravity waves exist publicly until 2015 is when it got proven. Robert M.L. Baker already had over a dozen scientific papers about laboratory-produced gravitational waves years before that. Years before that. So Robert M.L. Baker, I'm going to make sure people know this guy's name, Bob Baker, because I looked through his papers. I read them. This is one of the best ones because it just tells you the favorite papers are the ones that like anybody can understand. It's like, tell me what a gravitational wave can do. And look at this awesome graph. Like, what is a gravitational wave? Look, water waves, sound waves. Oh, electromagnetic waves. Ah, gravity waves. He explains it in awesome little details so that you can it makes total sense. Well, you don't have to understand everything else. And he says, what can we do? We can create detectors. Here are the applications. We can make communication with gravity waves. We can do propulsion with gravity waves. Physics with gravity waves in terms of energy. Imaging with gravity waves. The lower diffraction allows for imaging using refractive properties of high temperature superconductors. Look, he even quotes Ning Li and David Tor. Amazing. So this is a great one because you can understand. Look at all this stuff. It's not just propulsion with gravity waves. It's communication, it's imaging, it's telescopes. Gravity waves have a lot of capabilities. Next paper. You know, the other GOAT, Ken Shoulders, cold fusion expert, exotic vacuum objects, permittivity transitions. This paper basically says that Ken Shoulders realized that space is not empty. Space is not empty. And once he realized space wasn't empty and there's this 0-point energy everywhere, he realized we can make a plasma bubble. We can make a plasma bubble, and if we stabilize the plasma bubble, it won't dissipate. It'll just can float around, a plasma bubble that we can control, that we can move around, and we might be able to extract unlimited energy from it. The plasma bubble can essentially produce over unity. This is what the ENG8 people are doing. They're using plasma, cold plasma, non-equilibrium plasma, and they're producing over unity. But they're doing it 30 years after Ken Shoulders already had been working on it. Like the sun, except for it's not high temperatures like the sun. But potentially the sun might be doing the same thing. So good question, good point. Let's hit some more donations. Professor Forbes, I love your energy when you lay the smack down. Never stop. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you, man. Mark Scott again. Thanks for that other donation, Mark. You are a baller, dude. We appreciate all you've done. I appreciate it. Clint Easterly, unblock Mick West and TJ Powell. Live for the drama. No, that's not happening. That's not happening. I'm not unblocking anybody ever again. In fact, I'm going to be more block happy than I have been because I'm just kind of tired of it. We've already, especially after this live stream, it's just like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You know, so we can show people the way, like we're doing right now in this live stream. This is like a triple threat. We're doing the triathlon here. We debunked the skeptics and the debunkers. We debunked the believers, the true believers, and now we showed the right way, which is the science, so that people can find the path to the truth for themselves. So this shows the plasma bubbles here and how we can produce the plasma bubbles. So we can change the permittivity of the region of space-time, and we get bubble, and we can stabilize it. Concepts for extracting energy from the quantum vacuum, one of the DERDs. Why did I want to show you this paper? This was written by Eric Davis and maybe Hal Puthoff as well. I'm going to show up. Let's look for plasma. Oh, look at this. Listen closely, chat. EV phenomenon. This paper right here proves that Hal Puthoff and Eric Davis know all about exotic vacuum objects. It proves it. Why? Listen closely. Ken Shoulders, developed an experimental program to explore the physics of microscopic plasma vortices, aka force-free plasmoids. There's another paper that we referenced and that I've talked about on the podcast. In fact, I believe I talked about it on the Redacted podcast. 1992, Jack Nachamkin, force-free time harmonic plasmoids, where he uses a vortex to stabilize the plasma ball. Boom! They're referencing it right there, which are thought to be a form of ball lightning. This study was motivated by the earlier experimental works of the Wells at Princeton University in Plasma Physics Laboratory, also Bostic and Nardi. So these are the people that came before Ken Shoulders. I think the end here, and I'm just going to skip to the end. So he kind of goes through how they can make the plasmoids, at least how they did way back then. Let me read the last paragraph for you guys. Shoulders and collaborators subsequently investigated different approaches to extracting useful energy from the vacuum zero-point fluctuations, the ZPE, by way of exploiting the exotic vacuum object phenomenon, ball lightning. Even though EVs can be easily produced in the lab, efforts to test this hypothesis have not been met with success due to technical problems. That's almost certainly a lie. However, this topic is ideal to pursue for further research. That is quite the glowing endorsement. Peace out, CFs. We're almost done here. We got like 2 more to get through. That is a glowing endorsement by Eric Davis and Hal Puthoff of Ken Shoulders and exotic vacuum objects and using balls of plasma to extract energy from the quantum vacuum. Why do you guys think I'm excited about the ENG8? I'm excited about the ENG8 because they told me they're doing exotic vacuum object in plasmoids and they're extracting zero-point energy. And I went, yep, I've read all the papers. It's 100% legit. The top scientists in the world, I absolutely believe it's possible. To me, the only question about ENG8 is how good has the engineering gone and how much energy can we extract? What's our coefficient of performance? You know what they told me? 5 times the amount of energy out in the form of electricity than they're getting in. 1 unit in, 5 units out, which means they're getting all that energy from the vacuum. Absolutely incredible. 2 more donations. Wow. The Naye official. Thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate it. We probably got some like spies and stuff like that watching. Hey, by the way, China, Russia, you know what? Just don't evaporate the whole planet. Don't annihilate the whole planet with this technology. Just do me one solid. For China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, everybody who's out there watching as I just basically give away the United States super weapons and the key to free energy, Please do not annihilate the whole world. Or if you are going to like destroy, please do not destroy my city. I do not want war. I do not believe in attacking China, Russia, or any of these other countries. I hate war. I think the only way we get through this is if we work together. Please take that message to heart. Clint, thank you very much. Can't stand David. Oh, yeah, Dave Farina, the fake Professor Dave. Yeah, screw that guy. Yeah, this is probably going to get back to him, and now he's going to like make a video about it. But good luck, brother. I guarantee you I've read way more scientific papers than Professor Dave. I mean, this video is proof, and I know physics way better than he ever will in his entire life. So good luck, brother. By the way, just as I want to give him a quick disclaimer, a quick warning here as well, is that I've already collected videos of you proving that you're a fraud. I've already got them ready to go. So the very moment you make a video about me, you're going to get it back 100-fold, brother. 100-fold. So up to you, your choice. Okay. Negative mass propulsion by Friedbert Winterberg. This is the Project Paperclip scientist that came over from Germany. He's like 90 years old. Basically, what he's saying here is that negative energy is possible. Again, all mainstream astrophysicists don't understand negative energy. They think it's Harry Potter magic and purple substance. It's not. This paper explains that it's not purple substance. It's not exotic matter. Negative energy is just normal energy that's at the 0 point energy level, and we can pull it out. It's actually crazy how simple it is. The reason why I love this paper. Oh, this isn't the right one. Do I have it? Let me see if I have it on my computer. Negative mass propulsion. Okay. I'm not going to find it here, but I'll just tell you because I already know. In this paper, it also mentions Winterberg's Planck ether hypothesis. So Winterberg has his own view, which is extremely similar to Hal Puthoff and the other guys. And he's basically saying there really is an ether filled with energy. It's at the Planck scale, the smallest possible scales. So what he's saying is that there is this energy all around us. Let me go full screen. He's saying there is this energy. He's saying the ether is real. And it's not this like wind that we're feeling all around us. It's at the quantum scale. That's why we don't see it. That's why we don't see it, but we know it's there. Remember Clemens, the first one that I showed you guys, the patent? Same exact concept. We know it's there. I actually like Winterberg's view of the Planck ether probably more than the other views. And at this point, it's just a matter of like, they're all conceptually the same thing. They're all saying there's this energy and we're just floating on top of it. But everybody has a slightly different take on it. End of the day, they're all going to be right. And this is why I say that no one person is going to get the credit for this because so many people have already figured it out. And how, Salvatore Pais is basically saying the same thing as well. We proved that with our interview with him. They're all just saying the ether is real. There's energy all around us. We're calling it 0 point energy because that's what the normie people understand the best. But it's the ether. It's the ether. I'll post a link to the Discord here for you guys right now. And then we have one more to do, and then we're done for tonight. It's been a good live stream, though. You guys are the best. I hope you guys have enjoyed all these papers. And this is not nearly all the papers that I read, by the way, chat. I just decided to do like however many I could think of off the top of my head. They're important ones that I think you guys need to know. These are the ones I think are probably some of the most important papers that people should read. Can they control 0 point energy and can it be detected if it's in use? Yes. Gravitational wave detectors are going to be what you're going to want to use. They also call it scalar waves. A scalar longitudinal wave is a ripple through the ether. And what's the ether? The 0 point energy. This is a gravity wave. So this is the 0 point energy. We're sitting on the top of it. A gravity wave would be these bumps, also known as a scalar wave. Good question. Last one. This is a different negative mass one. And this is written by Landis. The reason why I like this one is somewhere in here, I don't remember where it is, but he explains that negative mass doesn't work the way that we intuitively would think. It's not exactly the opposite of positive. Negative energy is not exactly the opposite of positive energy. And Einstein showed us that mass is energy. So anytime you hear the word mass, you can replace it with the word energy. And this is where I go and show the negative mass experiment.
Let's see what happens in an inelastic collision.
So the top one is positive mass and positive mass. Now look at what negative mass does. It pulls the positive mass forward. So what this paper that I was just showing you is this explains this concept. I like the visualization better for you guys, and I've posted this on my Twitter several times. And what happens when the masses get equivalent? Like you have 2 kilograms and 5 kilograms. So it's going to slow down. If something heavy hits something else that's heavy, it slows down. When you hit a negative mass, you speed up. Now, if they're close, look at how fast it goes. Look at how fast that moves. And if they're exactly the same, like 5 kilograms and then negative 5 kilograms, then look at the bottom one. Teleportation. There it is. When you divide by 0, what happens? Teleportation happens. That's why this scientific paper is so useful to read. This scientific paper explains that concept. That's what you see with all these graphs right here. And somewhere in here, I can't remember, it also explains a wormhole. I don't think it says wormhole. I'm trying to remember where. I haven't read this one in a while, and I only read it one time. But somewhere in here, it basically explains the Pais effect and the wormhole that we see in the MH370 video, that we can achieve these energy densities where we can actually do this to an airplane. Pretty incredible. Okay, guys. Whew, let's do a couple, cool down for a couple minutes. I'll see if there's any questions in the chat, if I missed any donations. Eric Weinstein's confusion about physics limitations. Yeah, Eric Weinstein. Actually, I'm going to show you guys something. Thank you for that donation, Intej. Look at this video that I pulled from Eric Weinstein. Eric Weinstein has no idea what's going on.
You're wasting your time on a wormhole. Why not try to figure out? I'll give you my favorite approach. I think that if you include the 4 coordinates, x, y, z, and t of space-time, the 4 rulers needed to measure them, one of them being a watch, and then the 6 protractors, t with x, t with y, t.
So the first thing he said is he explained in the 4 dimensions, all 3 spatial dimensions in time.
With z, x with y, x with z, y with z, you get a 14-dimensional space. Imagine we lived in that space rather than just the 4 that we are typically given. If you wanted to go a great distance, the first thing you do is that you would grow the ruler, because that's now one of the coordinates. You'd travel under that grown ruler. That would shrink the distance, and then you would transform the ruler back. That kind of an operation is something that is potentially possible. We don't talk about those things.
So that is so overly complicated, I don't even know where to begin. Don't talk about a wormhole. Instead, we're going to take all 4 dimensions and we're going to like multiply them against one another, and then everything connects to everything else, and then we're going to make everything super complicated to make it into 14 different dimensions, and then we're going to expand the ruler of between one of them and reduce it. It's like, we don't need all that, bro. I got a much simpler explanation for you. Here's space. Here's me folding space. Here's me puncturing a hole through space and coming out the other side. That's a wormhole. It's much, much more simple than what Eric Weinstein's trying to do with string theory and 14 fucking dimensions. You only need 5 dimensions, chat. Up, down, left, right, back and front, time, and the ether. That's all we need. The ether of energy all around us, all we have to do is pull energy out or add energy to it. If I pull enough energy out, I create a wormhole. Isn't that just much, much simpler than whatever Eric Weinstein was trying to say about taking my ruler and making it longer or shorter? Like, what is that? I mean, the concept is kind of the same, but it's just much more complicated. So there you go. Let me see. Thank you. I love purple things again. Bring a friend. We need to blow 1.1K out of the water. Is that how many people are watching right now? Holy shit. Guys, you guys are awesome, guys. Does that how Dave Rossi explains it too? Yeah, the chat's moving so fast I can't even keep up. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night there. This was, guys, you guys are gonna make the debunkers so jealous for all the super chats you just put in. I'm gonna reduce the limit though right after this. I don't want people giving me that much money. It just feels uncomfortable. But thank you very much for all the donations. You know what? Let's go through the donations one more time as well. The big ones, especially. I'll go through the giant ones. First of all, hey Ocean, not yours is red, so I'll go ahead. Thank you very much. You've been following forever. Hey Ocean's one of the earliest followers. GTE, you went crazy with this. This is the biggest donation I've ever seen. Thank you so much for this. Absolutely greatly appreciate it. Will go to good use, I promise. Devos, you've been giving us so much. I've recognized it. You've been supporting on Twitter, just doing work, getting information out there. I appreciate you so much. Mark, this is also like the second or third massive donation that you've done. Thank you guys very much for that. I appreciate the huge, huge donations. Ramona, $50 donation. That's crazy to me. Thank you guys very much. And then also Martin as well with the giant $50 donation. You guys just went wild. So again, if you don't want to donate, that's great. I actually prefer if you guys buy t-shirts, if that's what you like. If not, you don't want that, that's also fine. But the t-shirt link is in the description. I'll probably post on Twitter tomorrow or the next day as well. Big shout out to We Are the Change, who's been making a bunch of clips. And also, I'm going to say his name wrong. Where is he in the chat? Ayush, you know what? I can find it. Hold on. The guys that are making some of these amazing clips for me, you guys are, I've been bookmarking them and what have you to share them later. You guys have gone absolutely wild. Yeah. Ayush Patel. Thank you very much, man. You made some sick clips because in Ayush's, he actually adds graphics and he puts in the captions as well. And it takes a lot of work. So he's been putting in work. Thank you very much, guys. Did somebody just donate again? Somebody just donated. No, wait, what? Yo, chill out, Andy. Okay, no more donations, guys. Don't make me turn the donations off. I'm serious. Don't make me turn the donations off. Andy, thank you very much, man. This is the biggest donation stream I've ever had. Andy, thank you very much for that insane donation. Guys, if you need your money, please keep your money for yourself. Of course, I'll put it to good use, but please, if you need it, keep it for yourself. If you're just trying to help out, make sure this happens. Thank you so much. That means a huge amount, Andy. Thank you. And Amir, wow. Thank you, Amir. Huge donation. Keep up the good work, 4 Orbs. Yeah, that's a message not just to me, guys. It's a message to all of you guys. Also, Little Hudacrunk, who's making the music videos that are just fire. Go check out Little Hudacrunk's channel. Everybody always asks me, where do I find the MH370 cipher, the song that I'm about to play at the end? You go to this guy's YouTube channel, and you can find all the songs. Little Hudacrunk made the most. Absolutely fire. Guy's great. I love it. You know what? I'll shout out a couple more people. Big Pooh, man. Hermes, been with us since the beginning. He helped push me down the right path on which science and stuff I should discover. Just straight up genius of a guy. JK Philly fan, shout out as always. Probably the guy that has learned the most along with me over the last year and a half. Now, the rest of you also have learned a lot as well, but JK Philly fan has been on fire. If you guys want to know information, you should hit JK Philly fan as well. Guys, intelligence community, do not disappear JK Philly fan. Please don't. Amanda has been my favorite follower for the entire time. She's the most positive person that I've ever seen on Twitter. Even when I'm out there just attacking people and being negative, she's always super positive. So thank you guys very much. There's Ayush. Thank you, brother. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be it. I'm tired. Let's do this on Wednesday. Wednesday, we are going to look through the Redacted podcast, and I found another interview after MH370 disappeared where they were doing all the investigative research, and they came to very similar conclusions to what we found out about where the plane went, what the motive was for it, the cover-up that was involved. We're going to listen to that. I think there might be a clue in there as to what it was related to the Freescale semiconductor engineers that we were trying to protect. Everyone was wondering, okay, the Freescale semiconductor engineers have some IP or there's something on board the plane. What is it, though? There's a really good theory that I'm starting to like, and we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. So redacted, and then new theory about what it was aboard the plane on Wednesday, guys. Yeah, get excited. It's going to be a sweet stream. Oh, wow. 2 more donations. Okay. M Spiral 108. Thank you very much. Keep going, bro. You're a patriot to humanity. I love it. Thank you very much. Huge donation. Thank you. And Z Jalapeno. Oh, Z Jalapeno, the legend. He wanted to get the shout out. ZPE Disclosure 2025. Guy's been putting in the most work in the memes by far. ZPE Disclosure. Check him out. Make sure you guys are following all these people. Let's make the best community ever on social media, guys. Have a great night, MH370X. I love you all. Peace out, everyone. Where's my thing? Cypher. There. Oh, crap. Sorry, it's like all bugged out. What? Hold on. God. StreamYard's all messed up. Okay, I'm just going to do it the other way. Okay, everybody. Thanks. Peace.
In the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum squeezed so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
Thin shell formalism plates so fine, spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Coulomb forces balancing the plate, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound. A shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread.
We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear. Exploring the cosmos.